turn it over at the United Nations. It was in Mayan and then it was in English. There's 4 pairs. And I was watching it. I was there. We are. Then because I missed that first week with the Doctrine of Discovery with Stephen Newcomb. He read the declaration on that. We want that overturned. That has to do with the papal bulls. It has to do with going to the Vatican and talking to the white pope and the black pope. And it's not just confused, but to educate all our people. How do we do that? We're trying to establish a WOLAKOTA on the WOGLAGLAPELO. If we can get that going, it's geared towards the family and community education. So we want to target 15 to 24-year-olds. That's the United Nations. That's youth. So we let these young guys know that. That's why I want to get that 7th generation going again. But there, it's 12 years old. And I'm trying to really need to do this. That was the number one thing that first day. We had handouts to them and their teachers. We had probably about 5 handouts to them. And then we had that questionnaire based off the unit that involves the youth. I think there's 4 sections that involve the youth. So the ones that are interested, the 1 page and 10 questions, they're supposed to write their name and give it to us and contact if they're interested. So they can start getting this youth council going. And then on that second day we had presentations at the college. Harold Galway for the intrinsic council roles and responsibilities. Bill Means was on. Dennis Banks was. They were having a funeral that day. Bill Means wasn't there. And Victor DeWolf, they were starting out with really good ones. Really, they had all the time they wanted to present. We didn't want to just let them have any time it took them to present. That was connecting the stars to how we run our government, how we're connected. So this is how our government structure is. All these things that we develop, we need to develop as curriculum. We have that concept there already, we just need to carry it out at the community family. Number 2 is continue promoting and sharing the legal framework, draft constitution to unite the people out there, like the SAKOWIN, all the people, no one left behind. So we have a draft constitution. We're going to hand out with the Republic of Lakotah. Russell Means gave me that down in Fort Laramie in 2012. And then we got a United Nations Declaration of Indigenous Peoples. We got a breakdown of all 46 sections. I did one myself. I only did about 9 of them. I sent it off to the state and they wanted to comment. It's Kola, man. My teacher, he worked with the pilot. They come up with an infrastructure. They come up with that. Indigenous people's identity, theft, and fraud breakthroughs. So out of that, we handed that up. So we handed the Constitution draft. We didn't really get to discuss it. Some of those representatives were just worried about things, you know, it doesn't get anything done. So when we wanted to see the representative. How many represent Black History, and that's a book out there because there was gone that last day. The last day, this is what we did. We got it on the board. There must have been about 30 people there. Probably over 100. We had over about 100, almost 140 that first day signing up to do classes. College students and a couple. And then the last day we went over these points here. And we said that when we meet, we want to start with action items. Addition points. These are all legal action items. So when the young guys get involved, let's just say the coffee, the Tenchi Charter, the Chila, Coastal, the modern technology out. Oceti esta tela, Oceti yapiki sky yapiki telo ya. Saho Lakotah unsay yapiki lokiski two pizza. Ujula na heti sa WOGLAKOTA. Sabe WOLAKOTA wai kile makaga kile. Hey chu. And retires in community care. Lakotah telo WOGLAKOTA. As they take the time of the old Ominiciye. There's nothing there. It's a connection between our fluent speakers and the community and the young guys. So I almost got a head start to do it in the community now. The ones that are fluent, they're willing to come in. Offer the kid and then the piece and get the young families involved. We have curriculum. We have a curriculum that comes from the Apache family spirit, it's called. And it's got 62 lessons. But it targets a pregnant woman or girl and up to 3 years old. But the treaty says 6 years old. So we're trying to go by treaty.
What does that say in the treaty?
For that section, I got a copy of this one.
You can tell where the treaty at.
6 to 16.
We only know Kata. Which we have to.
Directly out of the treaty, but it's going to start from the pregnant. All the way up to the house.
Sue out here, mothers from Abilene, like you said, last. So you know what I know. There's no age limit. You say what she just called.
This one, this one, family based.
Why we're in trouble today is that they have never thought about putting a treaty in the curriculum. They use the European style of the curriculum. That's why we're in trouble today. If they have put that curriculum out of the system from the beginning of time, the European structure curriculum, nothing would have went bad this far.
I'm the counselor at the Oryx school, and I asked the kids at the start of the school year about what you wanted to learn about. And I offered them one of the things that they could picked from was treaty and treaty rights. And I didn't have one kid that wasn't interested. Every single kid circled treaty and treaty rights. That's a big thing. The other thing is I've asked many kids about do you know who your great-grandparents are? And they don't. I can make this part of my curriculum for my kids.
We're oral people, so we can talk to the mother, grandmother, passed on, but it is on record.
Yeah, and I can have the kids start asking those questions. And then if you come in, Floyd, and do some sessions with the kids about the treaties, I can arrange them.
That's the foundation we're looking for.
Okay.
Well, that number 5 hit you, but I'll get to that when I get to 5. You guys have a copy of it, so. This is number 2 is the most important one, and we didn't get no feedback on the draft constitution, on all the laws pointed out in the Republic of Lakotah draft, and that unit drip itself broken down in sections. There's some concerns on that unit drip. We gotta be concerned with about 3 of those sections. And then number 3 is continue registration form that we got by thumbprinting to a file. Meaning pulling our 2i spot to get into a point and noise the outside, for their 2 spot. We're doing that now. Finally. Number 4 is start identifying and addressing those issues, entities that are barriers against our Lakotah people, and what are the solutions for a better all-inclusive government that will create prosperity for all. That's the key, prosperity for all. So we look at the barriers and entities of the Parliamentary Bureau of Indian Affairs. Indian Reorganization Act itself is a statute. Irish Constitution is based on that statute. Land use, protection of land, water, resource rights, and that's it everywhere. Debt slavery, monetary system, jurisdiction regarding tax from the ABA, which is the British Accredited Registry System of State Federal Courts and Duality of Justice. Establish traditional WANKAN courts. We have to do that. We got to hold on to the peacemakers. The Irish Council totally ignored them. Anything that's Lakotah, impeachment session. That's the way out there. That's the only way we can get peace. Separation of power, corporate dictate to Lakotah independence. That regulation act set us as a corporation. That corporation they established, they did the same thing to the U.S. citizens in 1925. Same thing, and then it did to us in 1934 under that statute. Put us under corporate establish identification transport driver's license. Now we got a young guy, one up there. He did it with that license, registration. He got it on the video. He hit a deer and knocked out his whole driver's license, headlight. So he's leaving from Lower Broome, that treaty meeting from Lower Broome. So Chamberlain stopped. Highway Patrol comes. Took down his license. Then he showed him his driver's plate. 2 days. Went back and looked at the registration on his back window. And they showed him his driver's license. So he said, he said he really was impressed, the highway patrolman. They gave him that red, remember they give you that red sticker? They gave him that. So now we have this now. So we need support from the elders on this. We're asking the elders to not support us with what we're doing. The other one is to start. He didn't make it to the meeting. He was supposed to come. Manapa was on the agenda, but he didn't make it. Chanumpa was on the agenda. The 6 that we had on the agenda, Saturday, 3 of them. So that last day, this is what we're going over about this. That, to start addressing alcohol, drug addiction to Lakotah, additional means and ways open. So if you make mandatory, mandatory, that's the Lakotah law, the spiritual law principle. But I used to be alcohol company. At one time I was a certified alcohol. I worked with Unity, one man Unity. And one guy come back from Sioux Falls, really hooked on me. It was a mainline, the steamboat piece. I said, come to Nicaragua. He asked for it. He's searching all kinds of questions. When we went to Nicaragua, I had the steamer. He slept good, nice steamer. And he turned towards better doing it. But see, if you go to the 638 contract, federal rules, tribal council, they don't support it. I said mandatory. You heard me say mandatory. Oh, mandatory. Make these things mandatory. You have to do it. When you see that they're going to say, I have a freedom of choice. So did those two stop, remember? That song, that two Tasha, one seat each. The other one was thinking this is something else. Then we asked, it's different. WANKAN is. But he had respect for what he saw. The other one didn't have respect. WANKAN seat. That's our ways are going to work. But you see those barriers that you can rewrite that to make this happen. You can do that. But we gotta, whatever Lakotah, WOLAKOTA, we gotta do it. We have to do it. With mouths, you have to do it. So that last one is, I think what everybody's concerned of, I'm concerned with this one is nuclear, biological, and chemical attacks. Must be addressed to stop the toxic pollution of land, air, water, life forms, and mankind. That's where we heard about this. They have a test structure. Radiation monitoring was the and that monitor here, monitoring radiation spike, it went up. Possibly Fukushima, still radiating. So that's why we want to start addressing that. And what they're doing to the water, the air with the chemtrail spraying, what they're doing to the water, and that affects life. Everything affects land, air, water, life forms, and mankind. That's where it's at. So this number 5 is establish WOLAKOTA education for children, family, and community-based education on our homeland. You have a copy of that now. It has WOLAKOTA agenda. Based off the feed. Okay. When I showed this to our education director, that tells me that they don't believe it. Just to run the education. Good river. And now all the things, I watched it. All the things that are doing, they have all the doors open. they know it. So we had Mowbridge Pollock School, Timberlake, and Dupree, the superintendents come with their essay. There used to be no child left behind. Now every student succeeds that. And they have to consult. First time I witnessed it. They signed a document with it. So this WOLAKOTA school is going to bridge the gap for those schools to educate everybody. A real issues happening right now. You know, not this pretend stuff. Every issue that we're facing now needs to be in the school. Because they're the ones that are going to have to, these young guys have to the ones that pick up what's right. So that's the best potential now that we have in education today. So this WOLAKOTA is important, but if we don't get support, the elders push this. That's one of the towns the elders pushed it. If these young guys, like me and everybody else, is pushing for you, give us the permission to do this. I know, if there's money there for this. But we need 8 hands up in the air to get it. It happens right now. So you can read that part, but what that drive solution, God proposed solution, the nation was controlled by education. Establish timeline, so it hits everybody. This is a long time ago drive. It's a drive, so it can change. It's not so, but we want to target that age group for reading, writing, and speaking. And that mother, she sings Lakotah for all Dagi. She sings Lakotah. So when that baby's born. And honey, it's just that, then, you know me, talking about Lakotah, WOGLAGLAPELO.
There's a lot if you listen to on our pioneers reservation. We have immersion. It's all basically been based upon treaty. This is an IRA concept, our Wheeler Act agreement where CFR this was here. The procedure following, that's a CFR 25 our Wheeler Act action. That's when the treaty was signed, the agreement. That was before 1934. Ojui Chasha, they call it. Ojui Chasha used to run this, the responsibility. My grandfather was part of this. He went away at 5 years old, didn't come back until he was 16, Jumaya, I think. So he come back that time. But so now the immersion program here, the foundation is circled the education on the outside. Won't spare. We have to have that because what Kankala said, that's our buffalo skin, our buffalo frog package. So that's our buffalo, put tools, spades, you know, the education. So we all got that. So actually, won't store mahiti akilea, wahut kankilea. Kala people, wahut kankilea. The grassroots foundation of a tree that is us. For eventually, won't store tree when Chakakile. This is when we are born on the red road. For her, the indoctrination to this day. Well, the Catholic school and board schools, we still have that doctrine. Now until we lost our language. Now, so the immersion pioneers really out to them, they use that Lakotah. As you know, English don't speak each other. I have to stop for you.
Well, that WOLAKOTA, that's based off that treaty school that Russell started. Now, he was successful, but he wasn't studying. He didn't have the money to back him up. So he was telling us in 2008, I got him videotape. But I got him, the other tapes that he made on the treaty school. That's where this comes from. And right now, the families are losing the language. So we have to target them. Like I said, we have queries, but they need to, like, this is just what it's saying here is, it begins provided the family. That's how we had it. Lakotah, WOGLAGLAPELO. And talks, so we're not, guys, y'all can do this. You're gonna have to learn this because you're gonna go to school. I still remember. So now it's these boys and girls, 6 to 16, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, Lakotah, English, reading, writing, speaking, management. So we get this target group, 15 to 24. They're gonna have to know everything. They're gonna represent us at the United Nations, and they really need to be there. This BIE and the public is asking for help, the grant, and a bunch of Christian schools. Well, now, we don't have no emergency college. That's what this is. Like I said earlier, when I brought this up, the leader of the tribal education is out making a face like they're angry. So now, her, she's a doctor, we agreed. I can Lakotah, WOGLAGLAPELO. So this is what we need to address. Those are barriers. We gotta address them. Right away, they think we're attacking them. We have a concept that we look at it. They don't even want to understand what we're talking about. Now they have no choice. So you can see how that's target 1, 2 is curriculum development. 3 is we got a budget. But we gotta get permission.
Go Lakotah College for help. I'm on the elder council. For help the education, we have the immersion class. For help director keep getting the books out compiled, references. Don't have 5 sitting up. But I had an outline out here. Hey, immersion class, the curriculum, college, curriculum, all schools will start using their own curriculum, Lakotah studies. Well, they're developing that. They have the references today. That, hey, maybe you could start there, get some resources from that would help with your target educating.
I'm the vice chair for the education committee for the San River Tribal Council. I'm the vice chairman of education. So I'm pushing this. I'm by myself. And I'm pushing the council. That's where the money's at. That's where I'm at now. And we have curriculum, we have all this stuff. We're just
Article 15, Treaty Act. See, in 1956, Canada, the Oglala relocation was on all over the Indian territory. Our people were sent to California and Chicago in 1956. Oceti, they asked the Treaty Council to agree with the public health services because people were going to California, Iowa, and all over. So we spoke to the Treaty Council at that time agreed with the public health that we lost that direct funding from Article 13. That includes education. So here we lost that. So before Holy Rock passed away, he asked me to work on a tribal council to rescind that. So we'll have all this public health services money back under treaty and education. So that's what we're going to have in our time, present time. So we need to rescind a lot of those agreements that was made after 34. Yeah, when we give it away.
Let me interject something with you, Bryce. I was there. I was there with them on their illustrations of what they promoted. But one of the things that I see going on in Indian country, and I've been studying this on my own to see how serious we are to get ahead. How are we going to do that? So I don't epitomize the system, but I discredit the system. Why? Number one, we have illustrations of laws in place pertaining to what Uncle Mel said very urgently earlier. There's 7 sacred, relations to our well-being. Okay? So they're there. So when I think about this over and over, okay, all right, so now that I've heard it from every area, one thing that is never tested, and I'm going to get into that real heavy right now, okay, just for a brief second. You have 1868 Fort Laramie Treaty way over here on the right side. In the center is 1851. Now way on the left side is 1840. Way before boundaries were ever made, or even the states being recognized as states of union ever existed. Why do I say that? Right here, creating your own independent driver's license, passport, hunting license, fishing, all of that. Okay? And the only way it's going to work is you have to turn your name around. We keep doing white man way. I'm going to say it again. It's here, okay? So they're going to look at our land and then us. They're going to start taking our kids away and putting them in non-native foster care families. Then they go after our grandmas and grandpas. Nursing homes. So they're testing that right now. So the way to get away from it and serving the purpose is independent. 1840. Think about that. You have that. As you don't want to go forward like this and implement it. You want to stay back here and wait for somebody to come along and do it for you. I've heard that. I'm tired. A majority of us that believed in getting rid of alcohol and drugs, we finally shut White Clay down. Oh, hey, that was a plus victory. But we didn't do it by ourselves. We did it with a lot of you that had the same mentality. Not to get it to legalize it on the reservations. But here's catch-22. Carla said something earlier about promoting something to get the treaty to help them recognize. Bryce is saying the same thing. I need you grandmas, you elders to help us. Okay. So President was here now. We said it this way, to help him and his people. We get aunties like Aunt Bernice and a few other grandmas. A grandma sitting right here. Chaja, I don't know her, but I've probably seen her in many places. But what I'm saying, and they push it to the Black Hills Sioux Nation Treaty Council. They send it back over here to this other Ospias from, the Cheyenne River Reservation. Lena Pasloham Okihim. So they're asking for that courageous effort of our help. So right there is a prime example. Now I said it, what Uncle Mal said. Okay? These are serious. So if we implement that kind of a roadmap, and we create a covenant, again, it's what we want to keep the white man away from what we're doing. Now, we're not going to do that, because we're going to fumble the football. And I'm not discrediting what we're saying here today. Lineal descendancy, not direct descendancy, is the key. Independence, it puts us back over here in the 1840 boundary line in the whole territorial purpose. And that stops all the stuff they're doing. But it's never Yuthad. We never tried it yet. So we keep going to 68 and 51. Okay, we understand that. But Lecha Unkiab Hunter, it's stronger. Haven't we learned from Standing Rock? Tribal Council, they sold out their right away. And who's the second tribe? The Blackfeet people in Browning, Montana. Their business council sold their water rights out. Chahena Yankee, see? But if they stayed over here, because Uncle Floyd talked to the Blackfeet people on the phone, giving them a direction to go. But we have to get back into that basis. These Washitas that came to Ableza Iyuksha and work with us, this is a prime time to get them on board to attack their people head on this way while we come from behind. Okay. And if we trap them by utilizing this, because wouldn't that be a start what Bryce is saying? Why don't we do that in the Black Hills on one of these guys' area to make that test? See? It's gonna go. So that's the way, you think how Bryce is implementing his understanding. Now,
support that chief, all of us. We're like 7 fires or 7 wolves. The walk while on the way only on the walls, on the wall, can the wolf something. I walked on the wolf, not 7 kids. But that's if she had like you Lakotah bleeding, PETA and WANKAN, most powerful water we have. HFT, curriculum here,
So that's number 4 on that handout. WOLAKOTA school, free, independent. Think, original thought, philosophy, way of life is needed to get out of a perpetrated decision of unilateral mandated education, assimilation, and termination of the people. Our purpose and goal is to save our race of people through our own education. So that's where we're at. We're at there. We got a proposal, we're asking for millions to get it started. So that part I know, once we get that money, we'll get it done. We got a comparative table to all these schools compared to our schools. And I'm telling the council now, we'll prove it to you in 1 year. We'll have speakers in 1 year. We'll prove it to you. So that's number 5. So all these have backup ones. This is where we got to do. This is where our Chihuahua Chioshpa, that would be 6, start exercising freedom. Start exercising independence. Number 8, full jurisdiction and sovereignty for our people. That's up to our Chihuahua Chioshpa. And a lot of our people, old to young, are brainwashed. They rely heavily on IRA and VIA, and all the doors are open for us. exercise. Here we are. That's why this WOLAKOTA is the key, or however they call it, catalyst, thing that like a springboard to make it happen. Number 9, establishing a government consisting of a specific council, plus duties and moral obligations to the people that shall represent the purpose of foreign nations, actually potential representatives, and Lakotah Tukaya. Tukaya is Tata, Taha, Pitu, Yapa. So, the Church Council, those are like great foods, you guys have the Church Council. That's what we need to establish at that level together. Number 10 is probably the most important one. I know it's the most important one. Establishing a monetary system, understanding the debt slavery system that has usurped resources of the people currently run by corporate government. I've got a handout that explains it. And it comes from that indigenous identity, theft, and fraud, free. That's about almost 400 pages. So the things I'm bringing up is curriculum for the world. And our people, once they read these things and understand them, they're going to be no more than these bar attorneys, these British accredited registries. They're going to be coming from who created us, made us on this land. We're exercising our freedom.
So what do you envision as medium of exchange?
Well, we got a bank here. It's called HESAPA, and I got a history curriculum telling all of these statutes and that they are trapping us with, but there are other statutes that insert, like the 1871 Act. 1871 said no more treaty making. But at that same year, they made an act of 1871 that created the government of Washington, D.C. It belongs to the British. It's always been. So when in 33, in 13, when they created that Federal Reserve, that was set up to take over the U.S. Treasury, which they gave to this banking cartel in 1821. They used the 1817 and 1819 War Powers Emergency Act. So Obama signed that Emergency Act. So that's what puts the U.S. citizen under this adhesion clause, a debt slavery.
What I'm talking about is medium of exchange. What you're saying, the monetary
Well, there's some young guys working on stuff, but we could use that. Right now, they changed that $100 bill. You see, they changed it. They put that script in. Now they're talking about putting gold leaf into that, adding gold onto that paper. So for us, and this is a big discussion I have, and I can answer that question, but I have documents that were cloaked in secrecy. That Eisenhower Truman thing. But that involved a conversation of gold during World War II, and that was from other countries. But they did the same thing with the gold there. When they took the gold. So when they moved the Federal Reserve from New York City, they moved it to Chicago. And we have a document with numbers on it. And when our guys, our elders, our WANKAN tribes, they represent the 4 flags. Exactly. They set up a protocol. When they went to D.C., they didn't have an agreement. Well, now, all these agreements now, like Japan has an agreement. And it's regarding Fukushima, too. They need money to clean that up. So if you read that agreement, it's from 2014. I give Chalupa the copy. I gave people some of these copies. Like I said, you have to. It comes with your print too. Like in this, and it says number 3 is continue registration form by thumbprint. That tells you who you are, your character. Ni nuevo. And you have something in there that tells you what you do. Like what your calling is. So if you have a number, you're good at it. If you have a letter, you're good at writing. You believe in our Lakotah, the Chanupa, we want to watch you. That's just it. If you have an animal and the president, you believe in our way. Like that, that's what that is. But if you have a WANKA, that person is spokesman for our people, our nation. So, to answer your question, is that when they moved that Federal Reserve in New York to Chicago, and that number there, that involves us. So if you want to develop an agreement, that's why it's on there. It says, debt slavery. If you don't know the statutes that have usurped the U.S. citizen, that goes back to 1868. When they did Article 14, they created that second citizen adhesion clause. That's how they trapped all American citizens. And it took these barons, these Rothschilds, almost 100 years to do that, to 1913.
All right, where you guys at?
So, in 1924, when they said you guys fought in World War I, so now you guys are. They had a lawsuit against us. We could have sued the heck out of the United States. When 24, right away, they granted citizenship to you and me. They granted that. Okay? Because there was a legal issue behind that. They can't do that to Israel. Well, yeah, they give Israel $3 billion a year. Military war mission. That's why it's unrest over there. It's a scam. But that's what you got more information on this.
You're saying that, okay, your proposal, this is just a piece of paper that the game is open, but it comes with people who believe in the value system. We all believe in it. Because it exchanges like gas, bingo, casino, and I bet a motel, going to the movies, buying your clothes.
Do you know when Abe Lincoln did it, he called it the greenback. Then they went. And then John Kennedy did the same thing. He said the secret society. And then he was going to go to silverback, and he was going to take the U.S. Treasury back from his international banking cartel under Federal Reserve. Look at this. This is true. So when he did, he went to make a move to get rid of silver and get the U.S. Treasury back from these cartel criminals. And they confiscated the gold in 33. All U.S. citizens confiscated the gold in 33 and 34. And there they come up with Indian reorganization. That's how they usurped the Lakotah. They put us under the book. So what we're saying is that we have to discuss this long-term system. If you have a big gold there, and there's a prophecy in the Black Hills, and now they've discovered this most pure water on the planet here. But this other guy said, something else. If you base your system like what Muammar Gaddafi did, you come up with this gold dinar, gold. And they're under petrodollar, Nixon, petrodollar. That's why the United States goes later with the economic hitman. You signed this agreement with electrify you. Build land and have electricity. Well, this was a monetary system with petrodollar, so what did they do to Gaddafi? The same thing with Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein wanted the euro, not the petrodollar. What did they do? And then they said, General Clark told him, he said, this man to go after 7 countries. And he named them all. Illegally. So they illegally did this. So I think that the key here is these old countries, these old units. Now, once we understand this, that it's going to be a salvation, not only for the Lakotah, it's going to be salvation for mankind. And that's how we have to think. When you look at that slavery monster, you have to understand this. After, Shita, in fact, Salila, WANKAN, HESAPA, WOGLAGLAPELO. WANKAN, WOGLAGLAPELO. WANKAN, WOGLAGLAPELO. Oceti, HESAPA. That's a Lakotah right there. We have to be this way. Right now, we have elected people that Oceti actually. To me, they're not Lakotah. They can't pray. And that's the grounding that happens. And if you're not spiritually discerning, and you're not connected spiritually, you're not going to understand this. Number 10. You're not going to understand. You're going to be asking question after question. But when you get there, the thought of this, and you look at those documents, and print, and then you're going to start
Gaddafi used gold income to justify monetary systems. Are you suggesting that we mine the black hills with gold to set up?
Right now, there's a sign now. These guys are facing it now. We've already faced it. They polluted right through the pit. And now they're doing dark matter stuff. They're creating a system of opening up portals to other dimensions that are bringing in these, like my conscience said, down 5 days. They're opening up these demonic portals. They're doing that here. They don't know what they're doing. It's a mad science. They're doing that in CERN, Switzerland. That's right. You get these young guys to understand these things. They're going to have to pick it up. Because all our fluent speakers, we're losing that, so we want to start a filming again, oral history stuff. We want to know prophecy. We want to know those stories that we heard when we're almost, you're 60, almost 60. We heard those stories we heard. They don't tell them in Lakotah the way we heard it. That's what we want to bring back, the stories. We want to bring back a lot of stuff that the elders know. They need to, they need to say everything, no more secrets. That's what I went to Hopi. I spoke with the tablet keeper. That's what he said. He gave timelines. 1930 or 2030. He said 2050 if mankind changes. And he said most likely man's not going to change. And he said 2030 or less. Well, not documented. You have to look up. So this monetary system, I got a curriculum with all the statues, all that stuff. I'll give it to you. That number 11, it ties in with all of this prophecy. That was our on our agenda, prophecy revealed. So there was a little discussion on that, not a whole lot. We had a timeline. There was the message is returned back to the hotel. And then that last one, number 12, is preparation of our people and communities for natural man-made disasters and our Creator's will. So we use that example of Puerto Rico when that grid down scenario. It's either a solar flare, and we almost got hit by a major solar flare in 2012. They call it cock pistol. And see, this Obama, those guys knew about it. He went into an underground military base, and it just barely went by. If it hit us, it would have knocked out the electricity. So solar flare and a nuclear detonation, airburst detonation, the scenario, the submarine right above us in the Midwest, detonated nuclear weapons and knocked out the world. Right now, Mother Nature did that in Puerto Rico. Hurricane Lakotah, now I forgot what percentage they're at. And then now that one guy come in and said renewable, remember, they do some solar. But if you go down Rosebud, they got those solar, and then they got wind power. That's what we gotta do. Then these councils are not doing it for us. They're negligence, that job. They're not preparing for this. We're not, something's coming. So that's number 12. That's what came out of our meeting. So now we got items that we have to work on. These are all legal issues.
You know, Matakepe, what he just said there, when I was at their meeting, they were implementing a strong case of really getting away from their tribal government, but finding resources that would help them sustain themselves. Now we come down to our final hours of what's going on to conclude this meeting. When it first began, we talked about lineal descendancy through a matriarchal system and a patriarchal system, two different ways, from the woman's side and the man's side. So now that we come into all these understandings that are agreeable, that we must produce our own intentions for it, this is the only way we're going to save the future. Well, now I'm going to get into independent structure here, okay? This is where I'm at. Now, it wasn't that long ago that Uncle Mal told the Justice Department when they came to Pine Ridge that, he said, I'm going to go the way my nephew's going. See, when you focus on the independent structure, you're looking at one simple thing, okay? It's a declaration that you can develop on your own, but put specific language the way you want to. As I said earlier, if we could create a covenant bona fide, okay? All right? Well, a covenant bona fide is implementing what you want as a people. Because of your safety, well-being, land, whatever, okay? So exercising that validity shows the discrimination against the system. Now, they still have that mentality of the Washichu, and it's hard to get away from, which is true. It's called decolonization. But from the points that we're looking at, now, honey, let's go back to just use an example as an Etch-a-Sketch. How many remember an Etch-a-Sketch? Remember the little lines? You shake it up and they go clear again, right? Okay, so if we already had an ancient way in place and it's becoming a thing of the past, if we don't take that approach to revitalize it, then we're the past. Now look at it this way. I was asking these Washichus this today. Un petto anzi le milahanska kitoski on kuak tikecha un caso tabhanta. Their grandkids, Trakola la trokile iukshongte, okay? Trokataka in the future, and they're gonna say this. They might say to John, say, hey, Grandpa John, where's all the Indians at? And this is what it's going to become. It's going to be quiet. How is he going to answer that? When his people were the ones that knocked us off finally. And they got it. They got it all now. See, that's the time we're in. So a covenant kile. Uncle Mal said it best. And Wendell has a good concept of it. So if each one of you are given a responsibility to do something that will benefit your people, but we're not doing that. So it's hard to accept that, okay? And when it is hard, that's when what? Confusion, anger, jealousy, them temptations that belong to the Washichus rise out of us. But if we really look at the symbolic retroid of it, which this young man, because it's not implemented in Lakotah, and it's very difficult for some that don't speak Lakotah. That invokes in one thing, it's all of our fault because we're not getting back to the basics. Okay. It's already there, see? But if we cannot come together and create our own covenant, we're going to be talking like everyone else that think that they have an answer. Well, I've listened to talk back here. I'm 60 years old now. Shit, I'm hitting 70. I'm pushing it. Next year I'll be 61. I don't want to reflect. I want to do something. And that's what I'm capable of doing. I like to take over stuff. That's what I'm good at. Yeah, go ahead.
We talked about the. My name is Donna Ray Peterson. Oyate Wachimpi we Machiati. Given to me by 5 grandmothers when I was 16. And you're just a young squirt. I'm going to be 65.
Great. Great.
I come here today at the invitation of Richard Ironcloud, who is my instructor. I think I was the only student in this class that showed up. But it is my life. It is the life of my Takotahs. It's my interest. That's why I will be graduating, hopefully this coming spring, my master's from Lakotah College. I am from Cheyenne River. I am of 7 bands plus. And so are my Takotahs. And they're all aware of it. And some of them are Gigi haired and crystal blue eyes, who's cool with Shasha, except for her daddy. So it doesn't matter the color of the skin or the color of the hair, the name behind your name. It matters what's here. And it matters that we know who we are. And I have long advocated since I was 16 years old, taught by the 5 grandmothers through a 9-month Ishnati, not no 4 days given by a man, but by the 5 grandmothers. That matriarchal society is what we are. And it has taken me all these years to understand matriarchal society in what they were teaching me all those years ago. I have come to understand it because I have 11 Lakotahs. And I want to make sure that that 1.2 million acres within the 3.2 million acres of the Cheyenne River Reservation boundary is maintained. Because that's the last standhold that we have. It's the last thing that we need and have for us to protect as Lakotah people. Hang on to what we have, preserve it. Throughout 48 years of working for my tribe, the federal government, the state, the counties, various advisory boards, making my way through several universities, working for them, I've come to really understand what the 5 Ochis were telling me. They went to pure normal. My Ochi Christine Dupree, White Eyes, architect. She graduated from the 10th grade. Fred Dupree Jr., his daughter, the youngest. The granddaughter of old Fred, who doesn't get really recognized for saving the buffalo, but he did. That's another story for another day. And through my lifetime, I've watched my mother go in and out of tribal council, work for the government. My father worked for the government. I'd say was Cecil Raymond Means the first. His father was Frank Means from Oglala Nation. Jermaine White Eyes. Jermaine White Eyes Means. We go back to the Ihokto. My biological father is Humpapa. But the White Eyes family goes Oglala as well as Ihokto. It's here. It's in us. It's who we are. Everything you said today, sir, I very much appreciate. I have missed Bryce's presentation. I've never heard of it before. You know, I saw a sign somewhere today that said something about Black Hills Nation, Black Hills Sioux Nation, a couple of other words. I don't know what the advertisement was about. But it struck me that at the young age of 20, I was Miss Sioux Nation. And then it was changed. The mentors in my life were Eva Nichols, Rosamund Goings, Ramon Rubio, and the list can go on. In this day, it was Tom Fredericks, Bill Peter. So I grew from a child to womanhood to this wondrous state of being an Uchi, being mentored by some of the best mentors I could have ever crossed in a lifetime. Currently, I'm the Cultural Preservation Administrator for our tribe. It's pitiful how we treat the cemeteries, how we treat the lone burial sites, or we don't treat them, or how we don't acknowledge each other if we look a little different. It's as good as not acknowledging that cemetery. That's our history, that's our past, it's who we are. We need to know where we came from in order to preserve today what we can have for the future of our Lakotah. That's why I'm here. I have already made the phone call to 20 women on Cheyenne River. And on December 6th, we will have coffee. I have already called it the matriarchal voice. And it's from one end of Cheyenne River Reservation to the other that we will gather. And when we gather, it's going to be the voice of many who speak Lakota, who don't, who understand. For the most part, I do. It doesn't flow from my lips, but I well hear what you're saying, and I can comprehend. So it doesn't fall on deaf ears, although I wear hearing aids. You know, it is time for moving forward, but there needs to be, and I heard the word strategic plan. There's many things we wish and desire to do, but it's what do we start with, and how do we get there, and how does that road look, and what's along the way? And we can't control whether somebody is going to speak Lakota.
You can control that though.
I will not argue. I'm giving my point of view. I understand. And yes, I am teaching grandchildren Lakotah, but that does not necessarily mean they're going to be fluent. Well, it would be wonderful, be a nice day. But working with them, at least the mindset is there, and there's an understanding of what you're talking about, an appreciation for the land that has been taken away from us too many times. I admire the strength and persistence and perseverance of many people from Oglala Nation. I have read Paul Robertson's book, The Power of the Land, and it's very, very much a mirror of what has happened in the history of Cheyenne River, with the cattle companies coming in, the Diamond A, the DZ Cattle Company, the McKinsey Cattle Company. It's very, very similar. History is there, it's a wonderful thing, and we should all learn it. So that what we want today, we will have a strategic plan not to repeat those things. One of the things that I noted in my last chapter was how the Office of Indian Affairs led to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, led to where we're at today, and they are still very much the boilerplate of how we live and what we do. Now maybe Blackfeet and maybe Yakima and other tribes pushed the BIA off the reservation. There's good examples there. Let's all take a look at them. We don't have to make their same mistakes. Our land is different. and they're self-governing. There's 5 tribes that I know the Bush Foundation speaks highly of because they moved past the IRA. And they are becoming self-sustaining. Now, self-sustaining doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to come up with a Bitcoin on the internet exchange. You know, there are some things that we have to live with in this world. And we can't just throw the baby out with the bath. We are nations that are sovereign. And this is what I teach my children and my couples. This is the strength of independence. Carrying that independence forward. The voice of the women need to be heard, and they will be heard again. And I assure you that they're coming from Rosebud and they are coming from Oglala. It is coming together. I'm probably the first to voice it. But on Cheyenne River, there will be a meeting, a gathering on December 6th. Matriarchal voices will come together because we're tired of being in poverty. We're tired of our children being taken away. We've got a nursing home type setting, but it's a matter of making council people accountable. And I read of how the Lakotah Landowners Association of Oglala Nation made accountability happen. And I'm proud of my relatives for doing that. Examples are there. We don't need to recreate the wheel, reinvent the wheel. Many, many educated people have lots to offer. I'm not the only one who have these thoughts. There are many people. We look at the need for our independence, the need to do our own billing, to say to the federal government, just block grant that money to us. We'll take care of our own hospital. Funeral insurance for people. To maybe a green card if necessary. We need as individual people to have choice as well. Many of our brothers and sisters, of 7 of us, and I as the oldest, of all the grandchildren and those 5 grandmothers, I am the voice. I have 2 remaining Tui from my mother's side that call and they say, what do you think? You have to decide. So it's happening, and it continues to happen, but it's been a quiet sector. But it's not going to be very quiet very much longer, because we're tired of our children hurting. The meth is hurting us. The drugs, the drug dealers, the Mexicans who came in, living in our world. Maybe they really admire the way we live. Well, we need to turn them around, don't we? We need to make sure that they respect who we are and how we live, instead of being fearful of them. So it's getting strong, it's standing strong, and it's standing together and appreciating the voice of each other. Because not all of us have answers, but all of us have ideas. And one little ounce of the idea can blossom into something greater if everybody adds something. I appreciate the fact that you requested this morning something really important of this day. And that's why I finally stood up. The day is coming to a close. There are many of us who are not feeling well in here. And so, what is it we're after? We're after the next step. We need that strategic plan. Now, is this the Oceti SAKOWIN Treaty Council sitting here? I don't know.
Oceti SAKOWIN here, so we're all coming together to try to create that circle.
Well, I'm part of your circle.
Yeah.
And here I am, I'm giving it to you. So what is the next step?
Well,
I'm gonna go home on December 6th and I will have the women come together, okay? And then what? I need to be heard after that, because I'll tell you what, they have louder voices than I do. And so keeping everybody on a balance so that we get something good to bring back to you. These are tough women. Your Tui Bernice, she's got some sisters on Cheyenne River and we're pretty strong. So you've heard from the beginning. And this is where we're at.
You know, when are you going to meet?
December 6th, it's a women's matriarchal voice.
You know, one of the things that
And excuse me for speaking out of turn, but I have to say something and I'm growing tired and sore.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that in order for us, and this is what's happening is that the movement, the sense of gathering, it's not building. And we've noticed that when we were bringing the Kioshbai concept, we would call the representation of these families. But what we failed to do was to add them to a list so that we could continue to build on them. I think for us, if you're going to take this leadership role and expand it out, what you need to do is you need to start putting women together and creating this large group by getting names that would actually come together. That's clear.
Yeah.
So this is the matriarchal voice of Cheyenne River that's coming together, and there will be a list of people, and I anticipate it being bigger than 20 women. But it is for the women, because we're tired of the poverty and the unemployment, and many people are educated and there are no jobs. I mean, many of us have tried to develop thoughts and ideas, some of the things that can help, but they go nowhere because we're all fearful of tribal council not listening to us or chastising us, reprimanding us. So,
you know, one of the things that you mentioned there, and I will say this because I know it's getting close to our time. We women, you know, all you women, and I said we women because I come from a woman that was a real woman. It was my mom. Looked at her own son as her Superman. But what I'm going to share is, and you know, I'm going to be brief with this part. I appreciate what you offered and how you're doing it, but I hope it's not too late. Okay? Because back here, I've seen that, all right? Not to discredit women, okay? When we needed other women from different, you know, nations and tribes to help, you know, Aunt Bernice and all them other grandmas that were facing destruction by our own tribal government, they came to us to stand for them. And that's what I did. When my elders tell me to go after the people, I'm going to go after them. That's the name of the game with me. But I do it more on their level, not mine. Me, I like fighting white people and cops. That's what I love to do. And I still do it today. But one thing I did not hear come out of you, and that hardened my heart again, is because as a person of my, you know, low character, because I'm never above anybody, I'm the lowest of the low. I'm still fighting for my men and women that are locked up and getting illegally sentenced. And when I do need help from you women, I don't see it. Because here's the problem. Right now I'm fighting for people on your reservation over a little Takoja. Her name is Elizabeth. I just got back from Sheridan, Wyoming, fighting the Sheridan police and the courts because her dad is locked up over there. And trying to get the women to create a implementation, I asked the mom, Rose Mitchell, do this way. And we take it to Harold Frazier, your tribal chairman. It's a covenant bona fide. That bona fide is illustrating what you guys can do for your tribal members. And I seen the conditions over there, because I was over there 3 weeks ago. So when this tribal council was bringing youth and whatever they were doing together, they came from it from a PETA SAKOWIN. So I understand that. Then I seen the council there. So I respect that too. But we're always an invited guest, never interpreting the challenges that we face. But the Oglalas did. And I represented the Black Hills Sioux Nation Treaty Council because that's how I had to do this. So now that we're facing the same dilemma of our tribal members, let alone our children, see, that's why I said, okay, why wasn't anybody, and your women with you, Rose, And this is what she said. Do kilt kan iblable hunter. Tiopa kilena bluchan yung kan. Unzik takia pat kanki emagna kam na yutantlam. She said they shut the door in her face by pushing her back. Why? Well, here was a grandmother doing what grandmas do best to take care of the chakozas, and there was no one there for her. Now I get a call from your reservation. You're from Cheyenne River, from another grandma and grandpa who cried to me on the phone yesterday afternoon, made my heart angry. Because the grandpa's daughter took her life. Oceti, you know? So he had to beat it to Mobridge. Now again, Mitakipe, hear me. Here's our elders from different reses within the establishment of the Oceti, SAKOWIN calling. But the point that I always get to is you're all on the TV screens and you all have business cards. You all got this. Why aren't they calling you guys to help within your own? This is my problem. Hold on now. You can talk all you want. But the point I'm getting at is every time we are facing critical, disturbances within our own and outside, we never take that responsibility to put our people first. And it's happening. And so, my auntie there, they have a grandma society. It's a cartela society where they can knock the shit out if they have to. And if they can't do it and they put it in our hands, then we'll do it. That's fine. But they're putting this already in place. But yet, we're still not there for each other. Hello? So we're going to keep, and don't get offended by it. Please, Mitakipi, don't yukta this backwards. We're bastardizing ourselves. Okay? Why? Because we think more like the white man than we do like ourselves. And that's what offends me. So every time, I'm thinking as it from a different perspective. It's never a first until you try it. Because I look at all of you, and this is no offense. All of you still have a tribal number. You still have a federal number, which is Social Security card. And you still have IDs that belong to them, right or wrong. Come on, raise your hands. You know you do. See, so that's the problem. We keep giving white supremacy more power, and they delude us. And my final piece to you, my sister Kathy gave me something here. Now, again, I'm going to reflect to that. You see, what brought this meeting together was because of the International Treaty Council with Mr. Mario Gonzalez in there. And I've asked this to Bill Means in there, because I used to be the late Russell Means' personal bodyguard, so I know. I learned an understanding about Russell. And Russell always used to tell me this. Never trust us Iescas, Koska, because we'll turn against you. We chakse. He's right. Okay? But yet, he, as a Iesca, like a majority of ours are, okay? But the Iesca part, what we said, is mixed with other nations' bloods, right? When the International Indigenous Peoples, Alliance to Protect Sacred Sites, this proclamation was created over here by Elk Creek. They had that this past summer. Majority of people went, signed off and all that. Even my people were up there and I seen them. I was angry about it. And I'm like, wait a minute. You have all these treaty groups. But overall, I don't care how many you have, you're never going to put a real Itchachan first. And that's this man sitting here, my uncle. Because he is the Itchachan of the whole Oceti. It's called, the Tetuan Oyate. Run by these three matriarchal grandmas, which has these four headsmen move on it. Lakotah, Dakota, and Nakota. That's those three grandmas. And these four headsmen that move on that. So he's one of them. Hey, honey, when Grandpa Frank Fusco had that responsibility, he's the one that told the white man, hey, we and he did that within good intention. That's how the Sundance was still emerging. So all these ones that still happen, yes, I'm glad that you thank me, man, and say, hey, I'm still a kid yet. Because you're still a little girl too. Okay? And that's no offense. Because until you understand the dynamics of what we're dealing with here, we're never going to come to that stepping point of really helping our people. Lechalak said we're still hearing the same thing, and he said, watch, everyone's going to take off. Wendell brought that subject up. Everyone took off.
And I'm still here.
See? So you understand that. But this is my point. Look, the crowd is big, but they all use an excuse to take off. They always want something from us. And a little warrior can say, "It's hunt the yak, y'all." You know, we see that. So my point is, until we start halting ourselves and preventing ourselves from doing stuff that we don't agree upon, then we're never going to connect this matriarchal system back to a matrilineal system. And I prefer to go by the women. I prefer to go by your women, unless you show me you're acting like that woman. It was one woman that told me to take the unzohe off and put the cutoff on and show me if I was a warrior in all degrees of weather. And I did.
I'm sorry for you.
No, it was beautiful. Because she was right. If we didn't get back, this is just a replica of the breech cloth. Checking out the wash the hunters could be a different story. So this is symbolic, okay? I don't see it except that grandma right there. She's got one. Oh hell, that balance is wiped out, see?
My balance.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'd like to finish because
you're going to finish.
I have a family waiting.
Okay,
You took
okay.
it away from me, and that's disrespect.
How did I take you away from your family?
No. The talk I was talking.
I understand that, but
then I'll let you finish.
the piece that I was getting at, I only have minimal time because it's going to be over. We were reflecting the directions of lineal descendancy and direct descendancy from both a matriarchal system and a patrilineal people in that. Okay, so if you understood that, the finishing part that I was giving to that, which you interrupted me, and I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It's okay. I give you that. Okay, that's okay with me. I'm not going to think like a white man, so I give you that. So to finish it up, I'm implementing everything as a roadmap for you guys to go ahead and you can do it. Why don't you women do it so we'll follow you? Yes, if you think that you can go slap the F out of those white people up there and cops and get our people out of jails and do all this stuff, I'll back up. Go ahead. And when the fight really comes down, when they do knock you women out to the ground and everything, don't look up at me to pick you up. Because if you convince me enough to stay back and you're going to do it, okay, my job is done. I don't have to do nothing. All I can do is go find a house somewhere, get it, stay red and die. But that's my point that I'm saying. Because we're always interjecting stuff. These are just examples as templates, okay? I want our people to create something in Lakotah that we can demonstrate before them. And they have to figure it out. But of course, our sellouts are going to try to interpret it wrong for them. This is what I'm talking. I'm talking about the future. I'm going way up this way. But I'm always brought to these things to help my people understand what you're facing. Remember, it took these Washitus to come to us. But have you been to that meeting down there on Tuesday?
No, we had Steve Vance go to it on behalf of the tribe because that's his job.
Well, Mitakepi, I end my case with that because this is what I'm saying, man. They're going to keep dictating your identity of who you are as Lakotahs. Boom. These white folks saw it. And I was there to catch it. Kathy showed up there for a brief. We seen what was going on. And if you women that have that vocal intent, we sure were there to get in those guys' faces. But there was none. Only a couple young ones. One of them, my AIM sisters from the day, Regina Brave, and what's her name? This little girl named Tanya Stans. Those are only two. But it was the man that challenged these white guys. See, those white guys, man, were very systematically, okay, they had that diplomacy attitude because they were so sophisticated, it shut our people's mindset because they used all these big words that cut them down. And where were you women? See, that's what nobody's telling you guys. I caught wind of it because of my people. Hey, get up there, there's something going on. So I got there in time. Sure enough, walked in just in time when they were ready to start the meeting. So I sat there and waited for the whole thing, and then he showed up, many others. But again, they spoke in the negative time. But with that, I said what I could, and I thank you all for coming.
And welcome everybody. The biggest enemy we have is assimilation. You can see that at Walmart. You go sit in their car in the Walmart, and they're gonna show, so all we're saying is that Auntie Bernice was there, I think. I had a treaty meeting, and the chiefs couldn't reach a decision. So I pulled them all out, and the grandma aunties all got together and reached a decision. So that's just the way we went. So that's just the way we like to go with them. So, oh, Takune Ayo.
One meeting had held Lakotah stick with the chance of question. Over the chance of question. We got you out the loop. That's your meeting to our English. Reading man Washington what is the title of it? You can call it. You can talk to me like everywhere. This one you get to tell you not to know. You know, she did. Okay, Lakotah catching on otherwise this would keep another thing, otherwise here you take it. To hear others when you know all jobs to other to hear when you eat the person. Outside will come so many corner is not a car was this the one is not for PETA. Now I want to treaty meeting outside here, there's no water on us not here. When it's treaty, the partito is. Carl Benson ran kills and me and others gone. You have out. But Carl Benson is not like on of help back on. And I wish I wish not as meeting with honest. As Story targeting something. WOGLAKOTA, or PETA. That Oyokshira, Techion goes, the government, it's the government. It's a hate. Not you, can you give? What is the government gets a hate? Well, other, like, Catholic churches, you go out the other Avenue House. Ja, there's stuff that we have Lakotah, a Kaisaki, alright, Albert is which what Techica is. 233 when he was a older on it after they I hope she gone and I hope she's gone. everywhere else. Just use the break alone, at the meeting in water champion. Break of meeting over, not to tell away, it's hard. Why? It's really what they are not going on. They stay away. It's so you know what you feel. Why? Church is gone, every corner of church is gone, all kind of drugs. What you feel you have dialogue in dialogue. I don't care. They're not go puzzle the hell dialogue. Which I is out of town. It's really good. Buy your tomato, jealous. Which I got cheese of you, just like the person did. When I said President Oyagacha, yeah. President here, she was station. 113 stars are you with them? Concussion, the United States will be taught. This is our United States. It belongs to the Sioux. I mean, all the tribes. Almost 500 tribes.
Oh.
Or she could be government. It's the government. They took peace off the time. I thought you feel. What the hell is it? I thought everybody using garbage, steam on the wood on steam on. I thought, what happened? My red house for was station. My red house for using chocolate. About 20 doctors in chocolate. I thought the market actually God used the market in years when I conference. They looked at the back of the level. Stop it. Let's show my doctor. I don't want that. You hard get to look on the open on the but I'll keep my own in jail, my God. I'll pay no chance to sue you or what you have. Do any lawyer you want to know? Lawyer, what you want to know? Yeah, drugs. Not no money. The Gordon Hospital, they're not going to sue you or what you have. I don't scam on it. Now, tribal council, the BIA, you got to come on one given. 3 times, you got a whole bunch of horses at the one given. Well, I guess second time I did the took a horses away. Or third time, we talk about the year of I will talk about third time. You can't get trouble in that after we talk. BIA go out there, the tribal council go talk there. The way gas go out there, lawyer. The car was here. $1,000 smack on that. I'll work for the air. $1,000 for us. But I was shot, you head checker. I shot you, head checker. Well, better go on, you can't, you won't have a long car to wait till no one send it, you won't talk about it. But if you are you touch out 40 years, but she did it. And you will have a good year. We are told, Shuaka, you know, the Shuka cost got which I love work. Well, I tell her to open one truck. A truck, only one. Oh, my grandson, Shuka cut the finance, Katina, don't be to hospital here, take that keep up. Why, ditch it, come out like that. Well, let's try it for 7 days. 7 days, coma. Marines, When you come to Denver, GI on it, 2 months, you come hospital, that is no complaint. After Nazaki, Kahuha, Oktacha, brain surgery. Oh, I can't private Hawaii, Oklahoma, Turkey. You come to Congress on the knee. Knee Nigeria. Or tell hell, there's only some that say, when I was 17 years, one that still have to come. You want to after open, we want to. 3 times, we are what we looked at in Iowa. 2 times Iowa. Or 3rd time, we had what I have. After having one walking. After charging, we that a job young come. After 2 years ago, we have having belonging. Because that's how I eat. I can't have private Hawaii. You can't lower on the roof if you want to make it. It's got the third time I went up to Vegas, I will talk a skin cut. I got at the mat. I thought Chuck young come. When I'm at this shabby level, I come lower on the roof. It's sorry, Wakata, he will come. Don't come with no child, Wakata, don't come with I can't warrior, Taki, don't find you as you come. Don't come with well, let's check that you come. Chanupon, you have a boy, you come. Don't come with don't come with a honey is first cousin, not too young. But I got up and come and talk about I created the Lana. He hooked up the chair here, don't come away, and chair here. Look like a chair here. Next year, I'm coming out. I had to wait a water like this. They recorded it, must have. Now I check it, the message. But how Tanupa you have in the virtual by half in the Wakati. Victoria, the best one, so which one is the best one? After which one is the powerful? After hedgehog, fighting over this thing. After she thought, me and Mark come, me and Mark, hey, Tagamishn, okay. Well, let's check here. We are let you extras up there. We are extras up there. That's 20 ranching nation. You call the whole reservation, Pine Ridge Reservation, Mishnala Hill, sometimes it's here. But I own and a message. I saw us in Carter, they like Carter. The hunter to look at that challenge in the Agony Bond Watch. You see, for a time, we live in all the Bond Watches. Tahao had she very much but don't come away, treaty comfortable on meeting. After y'all are back, well, how after let you what can't each year, but do our country. Do I back your after years ago? Have read out what she did, I'm not talking about here, I'm talking about there. But these are workers. But quality options I have to what kind of options I have to like Labo. Labo, there's 2 of them kind of rates. There needs another one. And not.
Carlo, Mike Carlo.
And not after I had to get the movie on the after I had to get. So that's it. Well, we are here. Don't particularly, Wahina, we're not too particularly. But a war come. Perhaps our Kotahan. Washington, when I have teeth tied. It's those Washington over there, on the reservation. When I could. And I hear one of Washington when I'm in the heat. It's gone, disappeared. It's gone like that. But 然后还好去了是，你让我可不。Other government PO check after other reservation, the train that did. Well, here's your buy back for you, and not other. Unfortunately,
I told you guys.
I thought you have some. I thought that we are largely step check. She thought I could to extend the estimate check or two or guys that can't eat till 1 week. 1 today. But I had a hard time. As 20 says, you should join to what you know. But I try to ask, I can't do it myself. I'm alone. Somebody should. I don't need anyone that they should talk about it. The good way of the religion, holy to the WOGLAKOTA. The hell, I won't put but we cannot regulate any with the other times. You see, we had generation way back, generation in America. We had great grandfather, Johnny Lakotah, had brother, Daniel medicine was the well, then we had grandpa doing eagle. We had that Raymond Eagle half rose, but not half of the lower. Half let you one time and let you go. It had that the silver fires and the production go, but half that of the slower than you want. Oh, they should teach you about that. What could you priority? I'm worried about my grandchildren.
Oh.
Their reservation, repetitive guitar, like he also guitar together. And they're at the homeless shelter, kind of cornerstone. Hell, other, Lakotah around there. Now, when I had tears of Lakotah on the hook, Sakaka could just stop. Like he was on guitar, she took the UPIT. And the contract will let you sit here. The field, the place to go. Well, I'm worried about my grandchildren. That's your hoping. Let me talk to you. That's your own. That's the mission. That's your and who can let you? Don't have science. What kind of science is on? Science is on to government. There's not out the oil. When I learned about check, we taught children to move language and practice. Now that's at the spal of a house of at the cabal check. Okay. What you want, what you lecture, what you want. This is the guitar observation to hear something. But I what you hear now. So I stage when you was like the iron. Yes, come up our stick. That's a little bit of hard time. Leave a hard time.
Chinupa,
Oh, yeah.
this is my sister, Lula May Red Cloud.
Okay.
You're like descendant of
Oh, yeah.
Red Cloud.
Oh, yeah.
You like that.
All right.
She just
So
explained, she just explained on how she survived all these years. The only thing that she has is 17 years ago she started the Sundance. But that was through a dream that she had at the Sundance. It was, she was given things from an elder from her past, as a spirit that came forward and gave her these things, the ideas. And all the things that she was told, she told the elder lady, they told her to use the chanupa, or the cap pipe, the cap pipe that was brought for us to use. And that's what she's done every time. She had a heart attack. They didn't know eye test, they never knew, but they were sent up here, and they found out through the prayers that she had, they found the problem in her heart. She had a hole in her heart. She's been running this Sundance all these years, but today you see her sitting here. She's still young, 85. She's still young. Moving around. The best that we can do is to respect her wishes that she tells us.
They're not council people, utility department. Be alone, they're not out here. You're not coming to keep leaking. Here, got late, you wanna. Zapta China on people. They went out 4:21. We still got about 35 minutes.
All day here, she might get 10 o'clock.
All right. Yeah. You know, when we come to this ending part of this meeting, keep in mind now, there are some, Washichu people here that ask for help, and then you heard from Auntie Bernice telling you the situations of what was going on and continuously going on. And because the hardships are bestowed upon us again, we got to start looking how we're going to figure out to save what little people we have. She's thinking about protecting her tchakojas. How am I going to do that? Who am I going to run to do that? So her interpretation of what Uncle Mal was explaining to you is about our prayer. And you white folks need to get this. Your people are the problem that created us in this situation. Your people did this to us. So you too have to figure out a way how we're going to have to help you go after your own people. But you have to do it first. And then we can step behind and come and help you. Because right now your people put all these evil stuff upon us and it's not working. And you got all these churches out here. Now, as I told you earlier, John, our people have become like that. Our Sundances are so many now, we don't believe in it anymore. We're playing with it. We have a saying, meaning that we are laughing to ourselves and hanging on to this pipe, but there's no meaning to it. You people taught us that now. So now all these Sundances are growing all over. There's even a Sundance in Germany. Your people are doing that over there because somebody give it to them. We weren't supposed to do that, but it's there. So she's looking at that as an 85-year-old young grandma, trying to get you guys to understand that this techia unkau kile, this hard time that your people are bringing upon us is here now. So go back to your people and tell them what, we need to do. If you really want our help, you have to turn that on them. And you've seen that how we can work when we go after the Oceti. You saw it on Tuesday. So, does anybody else have anything else to say? Go ahead.
Omar pizza ran checha steak that chechun give and here lechashke. She looked from the window and hear that poster that Buddhist was there. She said, all those Indians are meeting over there, she said. But the only issue or problem that I see is that our reservation is really suffering. And it's operated by 23 people that's sitting on the tribal council right now and telling our people what to do. All the monies that come, they take it. And I would like to see Trump actually do an audit on all these Indian tribes, mainly Pine Ridge. What are they doing with all this Rama money? What are they doing with these lawsuit monies that are coming in? That's what I don't like. Me, I earned myself a retirement, and I'm doing fine. But I learned to help people out. And my little brother here, Chanupa, he brings donations back. And we don't have a building to where we can store this stuff to give to the people. So immediately, rain, cold, or whatever, we give this stuff up. I help him. But we can't go on living like that when allocations come into our tribe and only a handful of the tribal council is taking it. Right now, they're all up here. Every weekend they're up here, eating good, sleeping in good motels, and their children, while our children and elderly are suffering and starving back there. You probably heard about those little kids that were kept starved out there. That was really sad. And I wouldn't want my grandchildren to go through that. So as an elderly, I cook all the time. And I'm not going to give up cooking for my people. And I give to the elderly too. When I'm having a dinner, I invite them. But the problem is our own people. The tribal council, they say they're going to do this. We got no ears, so we put the same people in there. And look what they're doing to us. But I'm not afraid. I mentioned that many times. Tribal council, Pine Ridge.
Everybody is scared of it when I started to direct descendant. Direct descendant, lineal descendant. And I can't get my point across, but everybody believes in the government. Well, right away they think they're not going to be helped. They don't help us anyway. They take all our money. The direct descendant, you hunt on us. CFR 25, Howard Wheeler Act, that is treaty agreement and government agreement that you're supposed to be on a tribal council by direct descendant after 1934.
Ashti
And
oyate
then my
ki.
grandpa brought
Yeah,
all
I
these.
understand that
Yeah,
part.
it's WANKAPELO.
Yeah.
Everyone's abusing us. So this direct descendant will put the descendants into the council.
Okay, bashi chumshin naku ashti lakab. Like they can give you $100 check and say, okay, Mila, don't say nothing. I'll get you the next day. Cha oyate gish ashti lakab. The money is the most evil, powerful, evil thing that you can get.
The direct descendant Congress Act.
Ah.
It's our authority.
So what can you
Article
do? You need to start appointing people that can go and tell the U.S. government, check our reservation out.
We did. Nobody don't come to our meetings.
Lena kesh me omakya kab le misum kala kali
Treaty
mano
meeting, we'll have church now, they're mad at each other because of their daughters don't get along. Church now, the PK and the Roman and they
It
walk
shouldn't
out.
be that way. It
Yeah,
shouldn't
no, it
be that
shouldn't be
way.
that way.
But what my concern here is what the tribal council is doing to our people. And I heard this statement made before from Tokas, people from other tribes, saying that how can the Oglala Sioux tribe can be run down like that and be ignored by a handful of Lakotas that you guys put in there. Tanamaska inampish kamtanka. Like, and Bernice, she needed help.
Yeah.
And nobody was helping her.
None of
Council
us.
Shichahash, lecha yuna ate, it takes dollars, Shkabela Ulenka.
I know that.
We the people, whoever's concerned, need to get Trump to do an audit. Send the Bureau to come over here and do an audit.
Trump has already made his paper to sabotage our reservation uranium, zero light and oil.
I know all that is, but
They-
we
we
can't
have
get
no
rid of him.
business
We're
doing
stuck
that.
with him for the next 4 years. So
They
we
will
need to
make a
do that.
meeting. All you descendants, please come. All you descendants. Akia upo Lakotah WOGLAGLAPELO. Oceti tako ena ongrushkampe. Let's Wendell Haination Khanshie. We gotta come back together instead of being assimilated by Christianity and government shop. They say all we do is mouth work. We gotta show action. I know how, cause I took over that tribal building, me and Oliver. You know, I know young couple.
And
Me and Russell took
Chanupa,
over
too.
Martin. Me and
Chanupa.
Russell took over Martin, you know.
Iska
We gotta
nako,
do that again.
my son-in-law in Balha. Iska,
Sure.
Sam Long. Hetri de el egna kapi. Anti Bernie singana cookie chi yayona. Walkie chi stampina. Elianke ash. Wa egg hetchetu. Wona wizi. We trash at dash. Even the
Yeah,
men
we
have
know
this
it.
jealousy.
No,
It shouldn't even be that way. Now we are gish ohomini yankana. The women should be around that circle to push for you guys. Ash
Ano chicha kop. At wana otkaloni
I've been
chagavat.
saying that since 1977. That's all the years.
Now,
That's
talking
how long
about
we've been
going
saying
back to your descendant and Tioshpayas, I have a Tioshpaya. I came from 3 brothers, 3 sisters, triplets, Ash Iayana, Ukshilashi Chahab, Tom Begal, Frank Foolscrow, Abraham Yellowboo. And not 3, they were born from triplet sisters. And that's where I come from, and my brother here, older brother Mal. And my younger brother with that window, Yellowboo. I know where I come from. Yeah, I come from where I understand where I'm coming from. And I was reading and I'm doing all the stuff that I can to help right now the immediate problem, and that's people starving. We're sitting with no lights. I mean, we should be used to it because we were all born and raised that way, with kerosene lamp, candles, and whatever. But it's modern times. And
Did
each,
you give her a copy?
yeah, I have one.
Yeah. Family tree.
China,
Family tree will have blank on each of it.
I just wanted to say a few words because I came with my family, my Lakotah girls, and they're waiting for me. But college has not changed na work meeting.
Left your mama card.
Ana kuptana kabina work like chicha. Maybe the circle will get bigger and bigger and bigger. The Lakotah, because you know that's the key to getting the way out there. See, that's not good either.
That's right. You won't like
Honey, my grandma used to say that it's a sin to try and eat and eat and eat. She said. I was raised that way. So I'm not just standing here and shooting the boo when I'm all for a better way of life for our people. And we talk like this. I've been around. Rasameen brother-in-law. We all sit and we talk. And Dennis Banks, he comes over to our place to sweat. And boy, these men are really powerful. And I learn from them. I learned to speak from them because I said, sister, you talk. Don't be afraid. If you make a mistake, fine. Somebody will tell you. And that's not the way. But I have to confirm it with my backup, which is my brothers, my Misu Wendell over there, and my older brother now. Mary Horse, Felicia. Felicia is my married name. He's from Lower Brew. I brought him back over here to Oglala land. For 47 years. I've been married 47 years with him. And it's really hard, but, you know, he backs me up and we go on fighting for what's right for our people. But thank you. Abdullah, it's good to see you. Harry, too. Harry's hanging in there. He won't give up on that. Thank you.
Go ahead.
7 fires on it.
This is so weak. Looks like Ominiciye to March. I'll get you an agenda. One of the grandmas. Put a time for that.
Yeah.
Put a day aside.
Put it together for them. NAKU. Black Hills Sioux Nation Treating Council, window, set up another meeting so we can call these men together. We You need to do that. Call one. Yeah, get with Uncle Floyd to do that. Set it up so we can all start moving on that. Uncle Mel, is op praktisch.
As we chat, you catch your practice. Killed by a 150, that man, his name is Wicho. What teachers are? What teachers are? That's a position we have.
We're going to have a meeting here.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You all right? We're going to have another meeting. We need your youth to be there. All right? A lot of the grandmas in check. You have a good one, okay? Good to see you. All right.
A lot of them coming. And the questions that they really wanted to know, the first one was based on the treaty. So we asked one of the treaty representatives, because they are our attorneys, a way to defend what they agreed upon. So we want one from the from the grassroots, and then the other one from a professional. And the other one they wanted to talk about was WOHAMLE. What does really mean? What does it really mean as far as WOHAMLE? And that's where you're talking about the spiritual years and dreams. And so a lot of them wanted to know. The question was brought up. And so what they're doing is they're trying to get an understanding of protocols. They want to get an understanding of some of the things that are used. Like an example, the triple, how it's used, the passage of 4, why was that? And what's the law behind it? And so what they were doing is they're trying to get an understanding, because what's happening is that even though the fluent speakers speak the language, they're not consistent in the words that they're used. And so what's happening with that is the young people who are trying to learn, trying to get back into it, one will chew them out about using a special word, and then another one will chew them out. So finally what they do is they give up. And so that's what they were talking about to me. Where's the consistency of the language? Because, and another thing they wanted to talk about, if you really want your younger generation to speak the language, encourage them. Even though they say it wrong, encourage them. Because what's going to happen is they'll build that confidence up, because we've been in the prison too long. That's what it is. We need to start getting away from that and start encouraging them. Even if they say it wrong. And when you do that, what they'll do is they'll start to come about, and they'll start to really embrace it. And so that was at the meeting that they discussed. And so, and the TOSBI, even if you put one of your members, even if it's just even the Women's Society needed to come. But if you got one from your family, have them come. I tell you, there was a gentleman that I know who used to drink a lot. I mean, he was wild, but I tell you what, he showed up for the meeting. At that meeting, he showed up because he said, you know, I was out of I didn't think really correctly, but I sobered up and I wanted to be part of something, and he showed up. And he said, I'm going to continue to come to represent my family. And that's the other part. The TOSBI system, I can't tell your family what to do, and you can't tell my family what to do, but if we have an issue that comes to consensus, and we agree upon it, then we can support it, and we can all stand it. Like I have 25 family members. If they agree, if I talk to them, if I say, you know, we agree, they'll say, yeah, then you have 25 people who are going to come and support that issue. Okay? And so you think about that. That's what you're missing. And I want to get away from this hierarchy of American government. You know, one man on top tries to call the shot. That's not our way. Our way is to help each other. Because if we don't help each other, even they're not teachers. They're not scholars. They're scholarly churches, but they come from different, either the German, Italian, French, those things. So you're going to have to acknowledge them like that. And Wushichu, in a way, was kind of the way of what we used to use. So what we need to do is we need to get their support. I mean, we don't have to understand their ways, because they come from a different world. They have to buy into this this American way. And it's tough on them too. And their government, the government that they wrote, the Constitution, they talk about, they raise your hand and stuff. It's the people. They're the people over there who have direct out, just like the council. The people who are in council are the ones that live and eat and really live good, but they're directly hanging in there. That's the same thing that happens over there. So all of you didn't get travel money. You didn't get travel money. You didn't get food money. You didn't get your hotel. You don't get that. But if you go to the IRA, which was probably up here, they got hotel, per diem, per dime. They got all their money, and that's the way they use that money to help the facility. And so, if we really wanted to become self-sufficient, let's start trying to help each other with a little money. That's why I want to help. I know you guys want to help me with money, but that's not the point. The point is we need to help each other. And so, the meeting for the Black Hills Sioux Tree Council, Black PLC Treaty Council, is that what you're going by?
Yeah, that's what we go by.
Okay, the IRA.
Well, hey, all right now.
Hey, I'll set the meeting and this time I'll go see Mother Butler.
Yeah.
They're using Article 14, those guys down. What, off the subject, John, I'll give you a phone number. Treaty lawyer wants to talk to you pertaining to this.
You gave my number to him?
No, I'll give it to you, his number and name.
Okay. Get you that meeting.
Right after this thing. Sounds good.
I think
I was gonna say.
he's gonna say his blessings and so, but what I'm saying is the young people will come and help you up there. I will work on it. They're aggressive. I mean, I don't want to be part of the campaign. Bring me out. But the main thing is that they will go to help you. Next year, the 18th, right? 2018, we'll have a meeting now. Next year?
Whatever you say.
January?
Well, do one that's going to close out this year, and then the next one will be the new year when we're welcoming it.
I'm going to be at the ride, though.
What ride's that one? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, well, what's his name? I'll work with you. Let's get this meeting set up, okay? I'll do the heavy part. I'll go after the Oceti's, okay? Yeah. John, I'm going to be calling upon you. Yeah.
I'm going to do something here. I hope it's good.
All right.
And then I'll try to get it, I'll let you know about the room rental and next year. Whatever I have.
Hey, John, I want to clarify something. Iwashichu means know-it-all.
Oh, okay.
So Lakotah shortened that by dropping the E.
I misinterpreted that.
Yeah, he was. Can I be brave?
Okay.
Saddle up. So the date is December 10th?
10th.
Casino.
Casino?
Yeah.
Right.
This is where all the society, women's society come too.
Women's
Yeah.
Society. Got Era Society.
Oh, yeah.
I need not take you cooperative. Oh, until they wanna. Well, hopefully, Chichilo. Was ja to často šatno kako je saničija peče. A I to naže. No ma uke za kako je to paleno jeđa paslata. Joj la I nažu kaja. No joj no kata joj štata. I čoj čaže ne on čoj hakele na on čute on čoza ne rana. Poleto na Lakotah home kešli. Ona voju kšan khanka je ha hita. Na hočo ko el očikli kaga pe većetja u jamftonka tako tehnika ka juzu ki afta ke af. Da si čuhno spontešni ke af. Šagleška heća je perkutimani sta ke af. O jonka wana apetu ki lele mo blaklo. No voj te gervi pijakel. Koškava vam. Očan te glača, na kašva, koškavi čaj, na tvožaj čaj, na kašvi čaj, na veće mi da peć. Now you want to go Lakotah, you can't say Floyd.
That's right.
Now you can go to Walmart, huh?
You gotta say Teole. That's the name. They want to go to this one.
Well, dead roots out here. Yeah.